Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you major stories from the Indian Wells Valley Water District and a presentation from Mick Gleason on groundwater, gas prices, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Thanks for joining us for the news. I'm Tom Whitnick. Here's news affecting Ridgecrest in the Indian Wells Valley. In more news from the Water District on our required 36% reduction order from the state, I sat down with Water District Manager Don Zadiba yesterday to discuss this. I asked him if he saw us meeting the 36% reduction. He felt that more reduction by users is needed if there is any hope to meet the 36% reduction. He expressed concern that the summer has the most potential for reductions and they are not meeting the order at this time. I also asked him for the details on the automated monitoring system the state is requiring them to install. This system will allow automatic meter reading and more. While auto meter reading is a cost saver over time for the Water District, it has another use that the state wants. It allows the district to develop water use databases on every user. It also allows emergency monitoring of the system. If there is a leak somewhere that causes the use to increase, a warning can be generated for staff to see and then send someone out to check on the location for possible problems. The system will require every meter to be modified with a monitoring device. The device will just bolt onto the existing meter. Don tells me there are approximately 11,400 meters they will need to install. This system will also require 4 towers to be installed around the valley to receive the data and then transmit the data to the Water District headquarters system. The state wanted this system up and operating by November, but Don contacted the state and told them there is no way they could issue a contract and have it done by November. So the state asked for an implementation plan to get it done. Oh yeah, the cost? Approximately, are you ready for this? $3.4 million. I asked if the district can afford such a huge bill. He said they are healthy financially, but might have to use some reserve money to pay for it. I asked him about the state wanting them to hire a part-time or full-time person for enforcement and community outreach. He said they already have someone that is part-time, but they will have to figure a way to better utilize this person. The Water District is also looking into installing solar power. The solar project would be to provide power for water wells and the district offices. This is a project that is estimated to cost $8.7 million. This would result in a cost savings to the district of about $7.8 million over the 20-year initial life of the project. At yesterday's Chamber of Commerce luncheon meeting, there was a large crowd to listen to Kern County Supervisor Mick Gleason. The meeting was well attended, including Mayor Breeden and Councilman Mike Maurer, as well as Congressman McCarthy's local representative. He gave an overview of the county budget, which he declares is balanced for this coming year. He highlighted a couple issues they had to deal with in the budget. The big problem is that with the reduction of oil revenue, it impacts the county with a cut of $24 million. So all departments had to take a 1.4% cut. This included the Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff had recommended closing the county's jail facility here in Ridgecrest. This is the item that drew comment from the audience. Mick said it cost the Sheriff about $600,000 per year to supply this service. When it was questioned from the audience that the city pays over $200,000 per year for this service, would the city then be relieved from paying that $200,000 per year? Mick said that is something they would have to discuss if the cut materialized. Closing the jail here would require Ridgecrest police officers to have to transport prisoners they arrest from here to Mojave. Every time this would happen, we would lose that service of that officer for at least 3 hours, and that's if everything goes well. So on a shift that may have 2 officers and a sergeant on duty, we would lose 1/3 of available officers to handle calls for service. That is not good. Plus the additional cost for this, because I guarantee that many times an officer could wind up on overtime for this transportation. When questioned by the audience, Mick advised that the jail would not be cut for this year. They decided to fund it through the general fund. But he doesn't know what will happen next year if revenue doesn't pick back up. It's interesting that when there are county cuts, it seems the Ridgecrest area is first targeted. The supervisors need to understand cuts in remote areas have more severe impacts than cuts in highly populated areas. This is because in the large populated areas, there are other assets closely available to draw on in emergencies. In remote areas, the available assets are hours away, and even those are small in availability. The last areas to be cut should be the remote areas. Mick also discussed the formation of the state-mandated Groundwater Sustainability Agency. He said they are well on their way to forming this agency. He expressed concerns about the agency, though, and said there are a lot of questions still that need to be answered about it. Things like, where would it be located? Funding, employees, legal services, and more. He did say it would likely be comprised of 7 to 9 people on the GSA board. All members have to have responsibility for groundwater management. So likely members would be one from the 3 counties within the area, Kern County, Inyo County, and San Bernardino County. There are also 2 local water districts that would provide a member each. The city would supply a member, Indian tribes would be invited to provide a member, and the Navy and BLM would be invited to provide a member as well. However, Mick said that they might provide an advisory member and not a voting member. This is because that there may be a conflict of authority of state requirements versus federal requirements. Mick was asked if this agency would have taxing authority. He said no, but they would have fee establishment authority. They will have the authority to install water meters on any and all wells in the area, then establish rates for those well users. Where now people that own these wells pay no fees to anyone, just the electricity to pump the water. This would be a big change for county residents on their own wells. Since the valley has been determined to be in critical overdraft, there is some potential funding that could be tapped into to fund this agency. This new agency will have to create a management plan and then an implementation plan. But again, there are many questions yet to be answered. But the location of this agency should be here in the affected area, not in Bakersfield. Mick said there were pros and cons to both locations. However, being located in the affected area is politically the right way to go. The people living here will not be happy about another agency that can impact their pocketbooks and lifestyles to be located 120 miles away. The impacted people should have easy access to this new level of bureaucracy. If you agree, make sure and let Mick know as soon as possible. The supervisors will be meeting behind closed doors to discuss this very soon. After the meeting, Mick stayed around to discuss issues with attendees. Stay tuned for news from the Kern County Fire Department when we come back. Welcome back. In a strange story out of Buena Vista Lake, yesterday at 3:25 p.m., the Kern County Fire Department received a call for a patient with burns at Buena Vista Lake. The patient was reportedly riding his jet ski when it exploded. Kern County firefighters from the Old River Fire Station arrived to find a 58-year-old male with major injuries. The patient had been brought to the boat dock by another person riding a jet ski. Crews treated the patient for his injuries and loaded him onto an awaiting air ambulance, Hall Medevac No. 1. The patient was flown to Kern Medical Center. There is suspicion that there must have been some gas leak or vapor leak that got a spark and exploded. This is a common concern for boats, but not commonly thought of as a problem for jet skis. The Ridgecrest Regional Hospital makes this announcement. Starting tonight, they are starting the Journey to Happiness Caregiver Support Group. It will meet every second and fourth Tuesday of every month. The meeting will start at 6 p.m. and go to 7:30 p.m. It will be held at the Hospital Health and Hospice Conference Room at 1653 Triangle Drive, right next to the Ridgecrest Cinemas. Yes, it's not at the main hospital, but up on Triangle Drive. This is brought to us by Pro-Life Consulting and Ridgecrest Regional Hospital Dr. Megan Stone. The purpose of the group is to provide encouragement, happiness, and practical tools caregivers can use for the care of loved ones. Again, this group starts tonight and will meet every second and fourth Tuesday of every month. For more information, call the RRH Community Wellness Outreach Services line at 760-499-3825. In news from the Desert Oasis Garden Club, they will be holding their annual plant sale on Saturday, September 26th at the Desert Empire Fairgrounds. All the plants for sale will be low water consumption plants and indigenous to the area. These plants are started here in the area. The club members state buying plants that we raised here in the area provides a better chance for the plant to survive the planting. Plants grown out of the area and then imported sometimes go into shock due to the elevation change. This could stunt the growth or even kill the plant. Plants available include yucca, agave, cactus, grown locally. Trees available will include palo verde, pine trees, and chatalapa. The Garden Club is a group of community members with years of experience on knowing what grows in the area. In news from the Kern County Sheriff's Office, we get this announcement. The Kern County Sheriff's Office is starting a Corps Academy. The Kern County Sheriff's Office is currently seeking student cadets for our upcoming STC Corrections Officer Corps Academy. The Corps Academy is scheduled to begin December 1st, 2015. The Academy runs Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. at the Kern Regional Training Center located at 962 Norris Road in Bakersfield. Applicants must be 18 years old and be able to pass an applicant selection process conducted by Kern County Sheriff's Office. This background check includes entry-level physical agility, personal history, oral interview. Graduates of the course will be eligible to apply for lateral entry detentions, deputy positions within the Kern County Sheriff's Office, and correctional officer positions with other law enforcement agencies within the state of California. This is not a job offer. Students completing the training program must apply and meet department-specific hiring requirements before being employed by a law enforcement agency. For more information, contact the Sheriff's Department in Bakersfield. Coming next Saturday, September 19th, Randsburg will host the 14th Annual Old West Days Festival. This event will run all day next Saturday starting at 8 a.m. and going until 4 p.m. There will be a pancake breakfast at 8 a.m. There will be food, vendors, antiques, arts and crafts, Old West gunfight, dancers, classic car show, and a lot more. This will be a full day of fun for all ages. So plan on heading 20 miles south to Randsburg next Saturday. Not this Saturday, next Saturday. See you there. It will be a great day. And don't forget the next big event coming to Ridgecrest will be the USO celebration of the 70th anniversary of the historic USO building right here in Ridgecrest on West Ridgecrest Boulevard. The celebration will be October 15th through 18th. Many events will happen, including a full USO entourage troupe from out of town. They will perform at Freedom Park. There's more details to come, but get this on your calendars now. You won't want to miss this one. Now in KZGN's continuous effort to provide news and information you've asked for, here are today's gas prices for Ridgecrest and some surrounding areas. Well, since my last report on Monday, gas prices are steady. Ridgecrest's lowest price is still $3.15 per gallon. This after decreasing last week about 10 cents a gallon. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is steady at $3.15 to $3.59 a gallon. Lancaster is ranging from $3.15 to $3.69. The LA Valley area is $3.21 to $3.43, and the Bishop area is $3.75 to $3.80. We have 6 stations coming in at the $3.15 figure. Tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, when you pay any sales tax out of town, you're helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Now stay tuned for weather and sports after the break. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Keith for the weather. Hey, Keith, what's going on with the heat?
Thank you, Tom. Going to be hot for a few days. I'll have more on that in a little bit. Just hold on. Nationally, we have unseasonably warm conditions that will continue across parts of the western and northeastern U.S. Temperatures will be 15 to 20 degrees above normal for many locations that could reach in the 90s or higher, such as San Francisco, New York, and Boston. Temperatures across the nation: Carolinas came in at 82, Georgia 76, Arkansas 75, Arizona 86, and Los Angeles at 83. And here's a quick look at our radar. We have a hazardous weather watch, and we have a flash flood watch for our local area. So with that, here goes our forecast. Tonight, we have a 20% chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms, otherwise mostly clear with a low around 75, south wind 10 miles per hour. Thursday, it will be sunny and hot with a high near 105, southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday night will be mostly clear with a low around 75, south-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Friday, sunny and hot again with a high near 105, north-northwest wind 5 miles per hour. Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 74, west-northwest wind 5 miles per hour. On Saturday, sunny and hot again, high near 104, northwest wind 5 miles per hour. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 75, west wind 10 miles per hour. Sunday will be mostly sunny and hot with a high near 102, west-northwest wind 5 miles per hour. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low around 73, southwest wind 5 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. On Monday, we see a little bit of a cooling, not by much. It'll be sunny and hot with a high near 99, northwest wind 5 miles per hour. And on Monday night, mostly clear with a low around 70, west-southwest wind at 15 with gusts as high as 25. And that is a look at your forecast for the IWV. Watch out for the flash floods, folks. Now back to Tom and the rest of the KZGN News.
Thanks, Keith. Now let's go to Tom Heck with sports.
And a very pleasant Wednesday afternoon to everyone. Let's start local football. Friday night, Burroughs and Garces. That'll be game 3 of the season. Burroughs trying to get that first win of the year. They dropped a heartbreaker 7-0 last Friday night up on the mountain at Tehachapi. Meanwhile, Garces comes in winless. Also, they're 0-2 on the season. They've played a couple teams from Tulare over the past few weeks. It'll be a rematch of last year. Very close game. Garces ended up winning that by 1 touchdown in Bakersfield. All right, let's check in on the Trona Tornadoes, 8-man football. Trona 2-0. They defeated Elpa, Nevada, week 1, 80-6. Boy, no mercy on people. Must have a very good team. And then they beat Lutheran of Laverne, I should say, 54-6. So this week they'll be at Lucerne Valley trying to make it 3-0 over there. Emmanuel, meanwhile, is 1-1 on the year. They lost to Villanova Prep week 1, and then last weekend defeated the Academy of Careers 22-8. They'll be tested on Friday night. They'll play at a very good football team, that is Mojave, and that is also 8-man football. All right, let's take a look at baseball. The Dodgers beat the Angels second night in a row. They win 6-4. 2 games in a row the Dodgers have won now. Clayton Kershaw gets a win. Game 3 is tonight. Matt Latos, a left-hander, will take on Garrett Richards. That'll be the 3rd game of the 3-game series. Now, San Francisco beat Arizona, so the Giants are hanging around somewhat. They're 8.5 back right now. Meanwhile, the Angels find themselves 5.5 behind the Houston Astros. The Astros lost again 2 nights in a row to the poor Oakland A's. And right now, Houston, because that Texas won last night, Houston has only a 1-game lead now in the West. It's evaporating quickly, but the fans of the state of Texas getting their dream. It's a battle between the Dallas area Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros, so it's going to be very interesting. Now, Texas does hold the number 1 spot remaining in the wild card. The other spot in the wild card is pretty much either going to be Toronto or the Yankees. Whoever doesn't win that East will get the wild card. The Rangers right now, if they don't win the West, would have that wild card championship clinched, and the Angels are on the outside looking in, so to say. They're 3.5 back of Texas. Minnesota 3 back of Texas. So really, it's 3 teams fighting for that last spot. Tampa Bay starting to phase himself out. They lost again last night. Now, in the National League, for the second night in a row, the Mets beat the Washington Nationals. Washington won 5 games in a row to come within 4 games of the Mets. But the Mets now, 2 wins in a row. Matt Harvey didn't pitch well last night for New York in his first start back after about a month out. However, they came back. Jonas Cespedes hit a double that cleared the bases in the 8th inning, and that lifted the Mets to a victory over Washington. Matt Williams under a lot of pressure there right now. So as we speak, 6 games is what separates the Mets and Washington. 2 teams play again tonight. The tough one about last night for Matt Williams and crew, they blew a 7-1 lead. They lost 8-7. All right, let's take a look at the National League Central real quick. St. Louis loses again 2 nights in a row to Chicago. Pittsburgh wins, so it's now down to 5 games lead in that National League Central. Both those teams will be in the playoffs. Both teams will want to try to win that division. The Cubs win again. The Cubs right now only a few games back of the number 1 wild card spot behind Pittsburgh. Boy, the Central Division very good this year. Meanwhile, Toronto and the Yankees both lose, so right now the lead is a half a game for Toronto or the Yankees in the East. Baseball fans, you got to love this time of year. All right, tennis. Serena Williams defeats her sister Right now, she'll advance to the semifinals, trying to be the first Grand Slam winner. That means win all major events in 1 year, since Steffi Graf did it back in 1988. Novak Djokovic also got a win. He advances to the semis, and Roger Federer will play tonight against Richard Gasquet, and the winner of that will go into the semis. All right, maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. It's worth a look if you haven't. John Jay High School is in the doghouse. Two of their players, that's in the San Antonio area, John Jay High School. Two of their players are right now facing possible criminal charges as they intentionally hit a referee on Friday night. Now, both players have been suspended from school, and you could probably Google it, look on the internet. It's worth a look. It's very scary how one hits him from behind during a play when he didn't even have to even go near him, and the other hit was when he was on the ground getting knocked down. The second player hit him on the ground. I've been in sports a long time, coached in high school and in college. I have never seen anything as blatant as that was. The district very apologetic. They released an assistant coach. The head coach, though, the school stood up for and said, hey, it doesn't reflect him. Joaquin Andahar, former great all-star baseball pitcher, pitched in the World Series for the St. Louis Cardinals. Had a big-time temper, but a big-time fastball. Great athlete, 5-time All-Star. Died the other day at age 62. He died of diabetes. Boy, I'll long remember him as just a great competitor, great fastball. Threw it about 98 to 100 miles an hour and liked to challenge people on the mound. He'll be missed. Okay, that's your sports. Again, Tom Brady, for those that missed it, will get to play this Sunday. He survives the inflated gate. Okay, have a very good Wednesday afternoon. I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. And stay with us for Ridgecrest Talk coming up next. And here's a short video from Saturday's parade of 1,000 flags. Thanks to Edward Zeska for this video.